quickly show you how to edit, bulk edit products, as well as looking at some of the categories and what we need to do with those categories, because there's a lot of old ones that we need to kind of sort through, get rid of, set up 301 redirects for, etc., etc. First, let's look at the products. If you want to bulk edit products, come here to the Products tab. And then you can actually filter these products by category. So if you wanted to just find tables, you can select categories this way. You can also select by product type, which isn't really that helpful, I don't think. Or you can also do stock status, so you can choose all your out of stock items, for example, and then do apply a whole bunch of changes to all of them at once, like if you wanted to take them out of a whole bunch of categories, which in order for it not to show up in search, that doesn't actually solve the problem. I'm asking Amy on how we can disclude out of stock items from the search. I was looking online and there's a lot of answers to it, but no good solutions to it for WooCommerce, oddly enough, but I'll see if Amy has a solution. This checkbox here would allow you to check all these products at once so that you can bulk edit them. So let's say all these products you wanted to make them maybe in stock again, or if you wanted to change their categories they're in. You can come up here to bulk actions, click on edit, click apply, and then you'll see it refreshes and it will show all these products that you have selected. And then you have your categories here that you can apply to all of these at once. You can also change things like their visibility, the stock. So you could actually change the stock quantity to 1 on all of these, for example, although you probably wouldn't want to do that. But let's say you wanted to remove them from all the categories. You want to check this on, and then you would actually have to come through and check all of these. And actually, by default, if you uncheck all of them and remove them all, it will by default be uncategorized for that product. So it's still always in the uncategorized category no matter what you do. So just to let you know. But you'll see there's like 115 categories here, which is confusing, and that's what we're going to talk about next. You used to have benches in more than one place because there was different categories that we had and subcategories, like dining room furniture versus accent furniture versus living room furniture. And now we have a much nicer, I think, simplified menu that isn't structured in that way, and everything's kind of its own entity. So if I go to desks, it's just product category / desks. It's not product - category / accent furniture / desks. So these are all new categories where I needed to set up new categories to make them kind of the mother category of themselves, which is better for a shorter domain for SEO reasons. So let's go ahead and let's pretend like I was removing all of these categories from all these products. If I wanted to save that, I'm going to hit update. I'm not actually going to do that, but if I were, it would just reload this page and tell you that the changes were applied to these products. So this is a great thing to do if you want to select a whole bunch of products and add them all to a category. You can also, let's go back to this and get out of this bulk editing. I guess I have to hit cancel. I think there's oh no. If you reload the page, it usually does that. But I could also come here and just type in a keyword, for example, and search products. And then I could select all the products that come up that have the keyword table in them if I wanted, or if you had one of a kind, you could do different things, searches, and find products. Then you can check this box to check them all on, and then use this bulk edit option to apply changes to all of them at once. So that's just a way that you can quickly move things around. That's how I moved a lot of products into all these new categories. So now let's go ahead and take a look at these categories. What we're dealing with here is, like I said, before you had the structure of the site was different. You had accent furniture and other different mother categories. So a lot of these subcategories were within those categories. So they, like the title of this was desk - accent - furniture. And so this is a subcategory of the main desks one. Well, we have created all these new categories, and what we want to do is probably go through and delete all these old ones. But before we do that, we're going to have to do it one by one. And When we delete them, we're going to want to create a redirect to tell Google and anybody else who has bookmarked the site or blog posts that you might have linked to a specific category or something. We want to make sure we set up 301 redirects so that for SEO reasons, you don't lose any ranking because all of a sudden you're missing pages on your site. So in order to do that, what you want to do is you want to view the front end of this category. So this is a category we're going to get rid of. And we want to select this URL because this is the one that's going to change. And what we want to do is tell Google what page should we go to instead, since this category we're going to get rid of it just to clean this up in the back end. Let's see, where were we? I guess I can go back. So I have that here. Now, I also sent you the link to this plugin, but there is a redirect plugin. We'll go over here. It's called Redirection, and it's down here. But I sent you the direct link, so it's a little easier to find because sometimes it's hard to find them. And where is it? There it is. I was overlooking it. So when I click here on Settings, and then I'm going to click here on Redirects. This is the redirect page. And again, I'll send you this link so you don't have to look for it. I like to keep this window open and then also keep another window open with my categories. That way I can kind of toggle back and forth. So I'm going to paste my old one. And then let's say, well, I need to send them to a new page. So where should I send them? I think I'll just send them to the main furniture category. So I'm going to select this, the product-category/furniture. You don't need the first part of this URL. This is going to change anyway when we launch, but everything after the .com you can select. So product-category-furniture. So this is where I'm telling this old one that we're deleting to go to this new one. And then I would click here on Add Redirect. I can't actually do this until I've deleted this here. So what I would do is set this up kind of like this, get it ready, and then I come back here and I just have two windows open. I would delete this. And then, and I'm going to go ahead and do this just because why not? We should get rid of all these old categories. So I'm clicking on delete there. It's giving me a warning. Are you sure? I think it's deleted. So then I'm going to come over here. I'm going to click on add redirect. And now that's done. So now if I go to that accent furniture, that old link, you'll see it will automatically redirect me to this furniture page. So that's exactly what we need to do for each and every one of these 150, not all of them, because there's probably, what, 60, 70 in the new menu, but all the extra ones we need to delete. The way to figure out which these are is a little bit complicated because it's hard to tell. You can tell by the slug, but still it's confusing. So if you want to get rid of these, the way I was going to do it, but it'll take a few hours to do, so I wanted to ask you first before doing this, is to actually, I'd go through each one of these and name them -new, so I would know which ones are the new ones, and do that to all of these, and then go in here and delete all the ones that don't have that -new, and then go back and rename them when I'm done. That way I'm not accidentally deleting one that we want to keep. The other way you could do it is by tracking these slugs, because you could just come here to the front end and you could go to tables, and then you'll see this slug is just tables. It's a nice clean one, product-category/tables. So that's the one that we want to keep. So then I could go through all these and delete any tables ones that are not just tables. So that's the other way. That actually is probably a better way. It's a little faster because you don't have to rename things. But it takes some time to go back and forth and double check and make sure that these are indeed the ones we want to delete. So anyway, these have just accumulated over the last several years because when you added stuff, you might have added a category to multiple categories and so forth. So there's a lot of extra ones, which make it a little complicated when you're adding products because you have to choose from all these different categories. You could keep them all too. It's not totally bad. It's just, I think in the long run, you'll be happier to delete them. But in order to do that, I definitely recommend using that plugin to, and I'm going to get that link here because I think I closed that window. Oh, here it is. Make a new window with it. But this is that redirect page. And so we would set up redirects for all the ones that we deleted. So again, I can do this. It'd probably take a few hours, 3, 4, 5 hours, hopefully on the shorter end of that spectrum. But I wanted to check to see if you wanted us to handle this for you or if you wanted to take the ball and run with it. It's not hard to do. It's just time consuming to set all these up and make sure that the redirects are set up. And also, making sure you're deleting the correct old categories and not deleting the new ones. The best way to do that is to look at the front end and click on each of these pages and look at the slug, which is part of the URL, the dining-tables, and make sure you don't delete this one because this is one you want to keep. So kind of cross-checking back and forth between these categories is the best way to do that, I think. Anyway, let me know what you think. The last thing I wanted to go over on this appearance part of things, or the categories, is the menus. If you want to edit the menu, this main menu here, this is editable in the back end under Appearance, under Menus. This does not automatically update. So if you were to add new categories down the road, or if you wanted to add categories or change the names of these in here, or add them to multiple categories, you would have to do that under the Menus editing under the Appearance. So let's go over there. So I'm going here to Appearance, I'm going to Menus. And then you want to make sure that this top navigation is selected because that's the main menu. And then you'll see this is that menu that appears on the pages. So this collections part of this is here under the menu. If you wanted to change things, you can actually drag and move these up and down to change the order. You can add new things by scrolling up to the top here. You can add new categories. Again, this is a super long list that we'll try to clean up. Just let me know if you want us to take care of that. You can select those, click on Add to Menu, and then you have to scroll down to the bottom of the menu because that's where it places those by default. Then you can drag it up into the category that you want. So this will allow you to add things or change things in the category. If you don't want something to be in the menu and you want to remove it, you just click here and hit remove. If you want to rename it, you can expand it and call this chandeliers and lights or whatever you want it to be. So you can also rename these. When you're done, you want to make sure you click on Save Menu, and that will apply those changes to the live site so this menu is up to speed. You can also change these. You'll notice that those were in here too under Warehouse. So you can change any of these links and reorganize them or rename them accordingly down the road if you ever have changes. I'm also, of course, happy to help with this, but I wanted to show you this is where you can edit the main navigation so that you have a little control over this down the road if you want to add pages, change collections, the category names, and so forth. So let me know if you have any other questions, and let me know if you'd like our help in reducing all those excess categories and getting it simplified so it's only showing all these new ones that are much cleaner, that have clean slugs, that just have, the actual keywords that we want to use instead of accent furniture / clocks and so forth. So these are all a lot better. But in that process, we should probably delete all those other categories that we're no longer using. So, let me know, and let me know if you have any other questions. Thanks.